Good morning, students. In today's class, we are going to start unit number 3 in distributed systems. That is, the distributed systems. The unit name is distributed systems and remote method invocation. Here, in this particular unit, the topics to be discussed is in this unit is unit number 3. First, what is the distributed systems and remote method invocation? In this, we are going to discuss about the introduction about RMI, remote method invocation, and the communication between distributed objects. Here, the communication between the distributed objects is the meaning of, in the distributed systems, the nodes are connected even though they are located in different places. And after that, object models. In the object models, we have some models. One is distributed object model. And what are the design issues of remote method invocation and the implementation of remote method invocation, distributed garbage collection, and after remote procedure call, event and notifications. The case study of let's take one case study, that is Java remote method invocation. Okay, these are the topics we are going to cover in unit number 3. Now let's start with this unit by introducing what is a distributed method, distributed method and remote invocation. Firstly, we need to know what is a distributed system. Okay, if we know the meaning of distributed system, then only we understand, then only we are having a necessity of introducing remote method invocation. A distributed system is the collection of computers, and those are connected in a network. And exchanges, communicating with one another by exchanging the messages. Here, the second and important definition we need to know in this unit is remote method invocation. Here, in distributed systems, this remote method invocation is a remote procedure call. This remote method invocation is a remote procedure call which allows the objects. Objects means, the software components are treated as objects, which allows the objects stored in the network to be run remotely. Okay, see, in one system is located at one place and another system is located at another place. If we want to access the object, if you want to allow that particular object, that means the system which is located another place, the software component, that is object, we need to allow that we need to access that particular component. This might happen through remote method invocation. This is a remote procedure call. It is a remote procedure call. This should be run remotely. Okay, this is what remote method invocation. See here, in distributed systems, objects, see here, see the highlighted points, which I will highlight. The distributed objects are the objects that are distributed across. Here, you must remember, the object is nothing but a software component. Object is not a physical component. Object is a software component. Here, the distributed objects are the objects that are distributed across the different address spaces, either in multiple computers, either in multiple computers connected via network or even in different processes. That might be in same process, that might be in different processes on the same computer. Suppose in the same computer, two different processes are running. One process wants to access the object in another process. That is one case. The process which is running on one machine wants to access the object, the process which is the object are in other machine. Okay, all the machines are connected in a network. Okay, but which work together by sharing the data and invoking the methods. Okay, here this is the meaning of distributed objects. Here the main method of distributed object communication is remote method invocation. Here all these distributed object communication, how it will happen? One object is in one machine, another object is in another. I want to access, I am working with another machine. How can I access remotely with that object? That happens through this remote method invocation, RMI. Here by invoking this method on remote object is known as remote method invocation. See here, this is the definition of remote method invocation. Invoking a method on a remote object is known as remote method invocation. Known as remote method invocation. It is generally done by message passing. This remote method invocation is generally done by message passing. Now see, what is message passing? Here one object sends a message to another object in a remote machine, that is message passing, or a process to perform. One object sends a message to another objects in a remote machine, or process to perform some task. Why one machine object wants to access another object? That is because of to perform a task. Here the results are sent back to the calling object. Whatever the calling object, all the results will be sent back to the calling object. This is called as message passing. First, you need to understand what is message passing and what is remote method invocation and what is remote procedural procedure call. Then only you need to understand one more concept. What is a distributed object? How these distributed objects are shared among the processes which are running on same machine or which are running on different machines. Okay, this is the introduction about this one. Now we are moving down to the next one, next concept in the introduction, that is remote procedure call. This remote procedure call approach extend the common programming abstraction of the procedure call of the distributed environments, and that will allow a calling process to call a procedure in a remote mode. That will a calling process. One more definition I will tell you for that remote procedure call in with respect to distributed computing. Distributed computing, in with respect to this distributed computing, this remote procedural call is when a computer program, just listen carefully students, when a computer program causes a procedure to execute in a different address space, that is not in same address space. That, see the difference. The program causes the procedure to execute in a different address space, which is coded as if it were normally procedure call, without the programmer explicitly coding the details for the remote interaction. Okay, Okay, this is one more definition for RPC. Here in this RPC, the main concept is allowing a calling process to call a procedure in a remote mode, as if it is local. This is called as RPC. Next, remote method invocation. This is very similar to RPC. This remote method invocation is very much similar to remote procedure call for distributed objects. Some differences between RMI and RPC in terms of using the object-oriented programming concept. The main difference between RPC and RMI is the using of object-oriented concepts in distributed systems, and also extending the concept of object reference to the global distributing environments. Okay, this is an introduction about the major difference between RPC and RMI is by using the object-oriented concepts. Next, this is a remote procedure call. The client calls the procedure. Already I told you the calling procedure. The client calls the procedures in a server program that is running in a different process. Client calls the procedure in a server program that is running in a different process. Okay, this is remote procedural call. Remote method invocation. An object in one process can invoke methods of object in other process. The object in one process that invokes the methods of objects in other process. Next, event notification. Here, in a distributed, these distributed objects receives notification of events at other objects for which they have registered. Okay. Next concept in this unit is we need to know about the middleware. Okay. What is the meaning of middleware? See the diagram here. Understand. This is the middleware. In the middleware, we are having, see, in between the operating system and applications, in between the operating system and distributed applications, we can assume it is a distributed application. We are having a middleware. In the middleware layers, what are there? Remote method invocation, event notifications, events, remote procedure call, request reply protocol. Already we have seen this request reply protocol, client server model, all we have group sharing, group communication, all we have seen in last unit, and external data representation. This is called as middleware. What middleware consisting of? Middleware is in between the operating system and distributed applications. Those involves remote method invocation, remote procedure call, event notifications, request reply protocol, and external data representation. See here, our next concept is how the distributed objects communication will be done. The concept is communication between distributed objects and other objects. Okay. See here, first we'll see life cycle. Creation, migration, and deletion of distributed objects is different from local objects. See here, we are having different objects. some are local objects, some are distributed objects. Here, the creation, migration, and deletion of distributed objects is different from local objects. Next, reference. Here, how these objects got referred? These objects got referred remotely. Which objects got referred remotely? Distributed objects got referred remotely, and this is more complex than simple pointers to memory address. Why? Because it is a very tough ask to call the distributed objects. Next, request latency. The latency is nothing but a time interval. If one object is a distributed object, request is orders of magnitude slower than local method invocation. Why? Because in local method invocation, all objects are in our local machine. We no need to go for, no need to invoke for the remote method. Okay, in a distributed objects, we need to access that object remotely. We need to invoke them. We need to access them remotely. It might take some time than local method invocation. That is what request latency. Latency is nothing but the time taken. Next, object activation. Distributed objects may not always be available to serve an object request at any point of time. Why? Because if it is not always available. If it, okay, it is not always available. Next, parallelism. Parallelism means consecutively. If one object is parallelly, that means one distributed object is executed and accessed in parallel. This is called as parallelism. Next, communication. Main concept is communication. There are different communication primitives available for distributed objects. Those primitives are, next, failure. The distributed objects have far more points of failure than typical local objects. See, the probability of failure in the distributed objects will be there. Why? Because the local objects, are not failed. Security. Distribution makes vulnerable. Why? Because one object is accessed by more than one process remotely. So vulnerability will be high. Next one, distributed object model. Distributed object model. The term distributed objects usually refers to software modules that are designed to work together but reside either in multiple computers connected via a network or in different processes inside the same computer. That is what we have discussed till. The distributed objects usually refers to software modules. Already I told you the distributed object always refers to software modules that are designed to work together but reside either in multiple computers connected via network or in different processes running on the same machine. Okay, the distributed object ante meaning entante not only in different computers, even though in the same computer, but in two different processes running on same machine. Okay. Next, the state of this distributed object consisting of the values of its instance variables. Since these object-based programs are logically partitioned and physical distribution of objects into different processes. See here, this is the how the distributed objects you might understand. This is a client machine. Left side one is the client machine. Right side one is the server machine. Here, these are having client is client. These are the client invokes a method. Okay. To access the server, client needs to invoke a method. This is the operating system of the client. This is the operating system of the server. Here, see here. If a client invokes a method, the same interface and as object. Here, see in the server machine, it wants to, the client wants to access this object. See the mouse pointer, and this is the state of the object, and these are the server methods, and this is the interface. Okay, here these two are connected in a network. The client machine and server machine is connected in a network. Here the client wants to access the object in the server machine by invoking a method. Here it is a proxy, same interface and object. Here these are the methods. Okay, this is an interface between the skeleton. This skeleton invokes the same method as object. See here, this proxy same interface and object. At the server machine, the skeleton invokes same method as object. Okay, this is called as marshaled invocation, that is passed across the network. This is called as marshaled invocation. Why? Because see here, from proxy in the network, see here my mouse pointer, this is called as marshaled invocation. See, this invocation is from proxy to skeleton. It is passed across the network. Okay, by passed this method, here the client machine can able to access the objects in the server machine. Server machine. This is called as, this type of communication is called as marshaled invocation, is passed along the network. This is how the distributed objects from client machine to server machine. See here the points. In remote method invocation, the client request to invoke a method of an object is sent in a message to the server. See, the client sends a message to the server to access the object. This particular invocation is carried out by executing a method of object at the server. How this invocation will be carried out? This will be carried out by executing a method of an object at the server machine. That result is returned to the client. That result is returned to the client in another message. See the next point. The distributed objects can assume other architectural models. For examples, objects can be replicated in order to obtain the usual benefits of fault tolerance and enhanced performance, and objects can be migrated. Here what happens? Migration. Migrated with a view of enhancing their performance and availability. What the concept here is, objects can be replicated. Objects can be replicated means the same object is kept at different places. That is called as replication. Another advantage of treating the shared state of a distributed program, the major advantage of, another advantage of treating the shared state of a distributed program as a collection of objects is, an object may be accessed. If an object may be accessed in remote method invocation, or it may be copied from local machine and accessed directly, provided that class implementation. This is what the distributed objects. Next, in the next class, we are going to discuss about the design issues of remote method invocation. Okay, just till now, there is no concept we have discussed other than introduction. What is In today's class, we have discussed what is remote method invocation. This you need to understand clearly. And what is remote procedure call, and what is distributed object. And the second one is how the communication happens between distributed objects. After that, we have started the object model, and next we have discussed the distributed object model. The client and server diagram represents the distributed object model. In tomorrow's class, this particular highlighted part, the design issues of remote method invocation and the implementation of remote method invocation, we are going to be discussed in next class. Okay. Thank you, students. That's it for today's class.